Welcome to the FuturePrint Tech Expo Spotlight and FuturePrint podcast. I'm really happy to have with me somebody who I've worked with before and been in various parts of the world. We've run a show during a revolution in Bangkok in Thailand back in 2008 and lived to tell the tale, both of us. Delighted to have with me Nova Abbott, who is Head of Marketing at Kavalan. Welcome to the FuturePrint Tech Expo Spotlight and podcast, Nova.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here, Marcus, and to work with you again. For those who do not know me, my name is Nova Abbott. I'm the head of marketing for Tire Groups. I look after all the branding and marketing activities for Kavalan branded PVC-free materials for tire. So, I'm glad to be here.
Fantastic. Yes, I was going to say, introduce yourself. I've kind of done that, and then you've done it a little bit already. But how do you come about getting involved in the print industry, Nova? Because what we're going to do is talk a bit about your backstory, a little bit about Kavalan, and then we'll also talk about Drupa. So starting off or kicking off, give us a bit more about how you got involved in print, because you're based in Taiwan now, aren't you? But obviously we worked together when you're in the UK. But anyway, how did you get involved in print?
It's all starting from, I think Fraser and you to a certain extent, who actually got me in for the Asia Pacific, the very first one, inaugural one for Vespa. I was working specifically for Asia Pacific, and then you guys realized that I can do much more. So apart from selling and helping marketing for the Asia Pacific region, I also took care of the certain European sort of sales territory for all Vespa events. So that's when, and also that's a very, very interesting journey. That's when I also realized that printing is more than just a desktop printing. It's commercial, it's got label, it's got everything, basically it's everywhere in our lives. And learned a lot, and still very fascinated by it.
It's quite multifaceted, isn't it? Which is excellent. And so obviously you had initially a sales role back then, but actually you've grown huge into a really successful marketing leader. What is it you do for Kavalan?
I basically helped launching Kavalan in 2017. In fact, Taya was one of the my key accounts that I managed when I was in Vespa. And after I left Vespa in early 2010, I was working in the maritime and aviation sector for a few years. Vincent, the VP of the company, we've been friends since God knows how long. Since I joined Vespa, really, because Vespa is when we both met. Vincent said, I'm not sure why, but we have these eco-friendly materials, but we don't know how to develop it. And at the time, I was quite tied up with all my clients when I was freelancing for the aviation industry. So I take a look and basically draw out a plan to give Vincent and say, well, this is how I would run it and then execute it if I were you. So, but Vincent actually showed the perseverance. Actually, that's the Kavalan spirit, which is what I like. Basically, just say, I need you to run the event and the brand force. So I actually started to work from one day to now full time for Kavalan, basically So that was it. Just run the campaign for Kavalan since then.
And it's been a hugely successful journey so far. So you've already explained a bit about how Kavalan came about, but tell us the story, of Kavalan, because obviously you mentioned tires, the main name of the business, but Kavalan's the brand that's grown massively. So tell us about that story.
Yes, of course. Kavalan is actually very interestingly, that's how we in the large format print industry, people actually know Kavalan first and not Taya, which is what I'm quite proud about. But we can't really talk about Kavalan without explaining the origin of the name first, because the name actually is named after the indigenous tribe from Taiwan called Kavalan. We have 16 Aboriginal tribes in Taiwan for small countries. It's actually quite a lot. And the Kavalan clan was the last one to be Sinofied and converted into Chinese culture. So yeah, as you can imagine, it suffered the great loss, and that's why not many Kavalan clans left nowadays. So to name all our our eco-friendly brand as Kavalan is basically reflects our determination and dedication to fight environmental degradation, really. So just like the Kavalan clan, just fight till the very end for the future generation. That's when we come about, and that's also the spirit that we. What's the purpose? Yeah. Our purpose is actually to eliminate the PVC banners and with the Kavalan sort of spirit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's brilliant. That's really clear. And that said, and you've done a great job. You've really grown, and you've from, like you said, you're based out in Taiwan, but you've really kind of grown in Europe massively. What kind of challenges have you had marketing the Kavalan brand and product?
Good question. Actually, quite a lot, really. If I were have to say, probably since we launched in 2017 in Hamburg for Vespa, in the Vespa event, I would say the biggest and foremost challenge would be greenwashing. And for example, most of people still think that if a product says it's recyclable, then it's green, but it is not the case. And we just have to continue telling people that why this is not the case, because if if a product cannot be collected, processed and manufactured into a new product, then after they've been used, then they can't. It doesn't constitute that it is a recyclable product. So it can't basically it can't go one without the other two. So the fact that in the banner industry, unlike say plastic bottles, you can be collected, processed, and then turned into something else. The banners cannot. It can be collected and processed, but it can't be manufactured into new products, mainly because the waste stream management stream is not there to fulfill the last sort of a criteria for to make it a recyclable product. So this is the one that we have to continue educating our industry about, and the other one is just to re-educate. Well, not I would say re-educate, but to emphasize that the original 3 R's about reduce, reuse, and recycle. Reduce and reuse always comes first, and not recycling. But as well, you realize that yourself as well, because that's what the kids. My daughter has been educated. For example, in school as well, they teach recycling, but they did not realize or not being told about minimizing and eliminating. Well, I would say minimizing the spend, and is the first. So yeah, that was I would say they're probably the biggest challenge. Oh, and the very important one, the last but not the least one, is basically is the perception of an Asian brand in a relatively niche market and for prints. And we've been working. We actually have to work extra hard to prove ourselves, to prove the fact that a brand like Kavalan from Taiwan, we can also lead and be the benchmark for PVC-free banner materials. And yeah, we can even outperform most of the products produced in Europe as well. Hopefully, I'm not upsetting any others. So, but this is the case. This is just the challenge that we are having to face, and yeah, and we still continually, I would say, battling it. But yeah, with the Kavalan sort of a spirit, and never give up.
Yeah, so you're making great headway, but you've had considerable challenges. One being having to educate the market about what is greenwashing, what isn't, what is the right thing to follow, and what isn't, which is challenging. But you've done it. But also the perception of being an Asian brand in Europe, which again means you have to fight twice as hard. So that's pretty considerable. Does storytelling help provide you with a communication solution? Is it helpful educating people and raising awareness is a useful tool for you.
Oh, absolutely. If I have to say, it's actually the key and center of all our marketing campaign, really, because well, it's versatile. I mean, storytelling can be versatile, and it's a very powerful communication tool to address all the communications or challenges, and to educate, really, and engage with our audience. So I would say our only, well, in the large format industry, really, Kavalan Eco Calculator would be the center of our storytelling sort of tools for to educate our industry, because we are able, with this tool, it enables us to basically to compare the environmental impacts for between Kavalan materials and also their equivalent PVC and textile counterparts currently on the market. So with the tool, we are able to basically help our clients understand the sustainability benefits and of choosing Kavalan when they switch from traditional PVC materials and textile to Kavalan. So the calculator, well, all fully validated by SGS, even the calculation logic is done through the life cycle assessments as well. So it really offers not just the quantifiable environmental savings, but also we can tell people that, say, when they do the switch, we can they're actually saving so and so CO2 equivalent of say the impact, and that's equivalent to maybe so from London to Paris and how many economy seats, etc. Just so that people can visualize and memorize, and if they can do that, then they are more engaging with our brands, and then they are more willing to talk about it. After they heard what they're told, and they can even I'll say form the emotional sort of connections on how saving doing the switch they can actually say is enough to generate how much electricity and heat from when Kavalan reaches the end of life as well. So it's I can't really address enough how important it is for storytelling for our campaign to continue, and not just started but also to continue as well. The story can just go on and on and on and on.
Yeah, and that's really effective. But what kind of formats do you use for storytelling? So you use digital as well as at events. I know you exhibit at shows, you attend events, you give talks, but is the digital side also important? So what kind of formats do you use for storytelling?
Oh yeah, we use it. We use them all, really. Just we well, probably like yourself as well. We're always constantly monitor and see what our audience where they are, and then tailor our campaign and adjust it accordingly. So for the digital sort of format, we have videos, we've got blogs, and your platform, the FuturePrint platform, is really good, and what we're recording now as well. So it provides us not just the auditory sort of connections, but also visually as well. So this is all very good.
Yeah, already useful. Yeah, and you do really sort of deploy them really well. Obviously, a new thing for you this year is the fact that you're doing Drupa, which is a huge event. It hasn't happened for 8 years. You typically in the past exhibited at shows like FESPA and I know Printing United and so on, which are a bit more focused on the wide format sector. So what will you be showing at Drupa? So this is a big thing for Kavalan, isn't it?
Yeah, it's actually our first Drupa show. Well, it is the #1 event, as we know, and what we will be showcasing would be all the 7 ranges of our products, all PVC-free, of course, inspired by nature. And then we're just in our stand in Hall 4, C29, by the way. Please pop over and to say hello. It is basically the stand will be decked out with all our materials. So just to demonstrate the particular applications and then the environmental benefits as well. And we can, on our stand, we can also, I'll say, showcase the our eco calculator online, and just to show you how why this is important, how we can quantify it, and explain all the methodologies behind. And so it's not just visually, but also give some the nutrition for our brand as well.
Yeah, brilliant. And I think, credit to you. You've done an outstanding job with Kavalan from the very beginning in terms of defining the brand, the purpose, then going out and knocking on lots of doors and changing perceptions and educating the market. And really now, I mean, some of the work you've done and achieved with, for instance, that the ones I've seen, the huge campaign, I think it's Oxford Circus, was it? The huge IKEA campaign in London, and then the Photographers Gallery. There's lots of diverse, different, really creative uses for Kavalan, and the fact it's PVC-free means it's making a huge difference to the environment as well. So it's hugely impactful as a creative solution, but also really positive for the environment. So that's excellent. So the Drupa, the booth is, so it's Hall 4.
Yes, Hall 4 C29, the tiny little one,
C29.
but very vibrant. Yeah, C29. Yes, very vibrant colors, and you won't miss it.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thanks for joining us, Nova. It's so good to talk to you and have you as a guest for both, and looking forward to seeing you soon in Düsseldorf.
Thank you very much. Looking forward to seeing you there as well, in person.